What's the word for my squad? It's your boy, for my reacts, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. I know I've been slacking on the videos. I'm supposed to be dropping some at least every 2 days, but you know I was busy. I'm sorry for my game. I was busy. I had to go do something. But how y'all been today, man? Y'all been cooling? Man, look. This is like week 3 quarantine, man. Still ain't get the haircut, man. You know I'm for my hoodie in this mug, man. Hoodie for mine in this mug. You already know how we come. Hoodie for mine in this mug, man. I ain't had a haircut in 3 weeks. But anyways, bro. Today we reacting to Flight Reacts before they was famous. So I think before they was famous, I think they dropped another video on Flight, if I'm not mistaken. But Flight Reacts, man, that's like for real, like an idol, man. That's the reason why I'm doing this, man. I was supposed to been doing it, but I ain't have everything to do it. So the Flight, I've been doing Flight for the longest, ever since he was dropping NBA Live videos. Before the reaction video, before Flight Reaction. When it was just Flight, man, like when you dropping the NBA Live videos, you know, supporting NBA Live, and then they gon' betray them and all that. But man, Flight really came a long way, bro. I'm telling you, he did. But I ain't gonna hold you. We reacted to Flight Reacts before they was famous. I watched like a few minutes of it. I ain't gonna fake it. I ain't watched the whole thing though, so let's get straight to it, man. Yeah,
what happened?
That tongue, he went viral off that one, boy.
What?
I ain't faking.
What? What happened?
Before Flight Reacts would inspire a Steph Curry meme that went so viral that even Curry himself hopped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, look at Curry, man. Just trying to do
Sports Center and everything.
You know what I'm saying?
He straight got Steph Curry.
Man, we gotta look at this like 10 times, man.
Reached out to him, bro. That's crazy.
Facts, yo.
Yeah, look at Curry, man. Just trying to do great things in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, this is just inspirational,
look at
bro.
Curry, man.
Bro, I'm gonna watch this quick clip for like 5 minutes, bro.
Curry,
this is inspirational, bro. I don't care what anybody says, dog. This is lit.
Before Flight Reacts would have over 250,000 followers on Twitter, almost 400,000 followers on Twitch, close to 1 million followers on Instagram, and over 4 million combined subscribers between his 2 YouTube channels at the time of this recording. Before Flight Reacts would start dropping banging rap tracks of his own.
What you heard, Gucci with the Robin J. Gotta made $1 million, now I'm ready for the three.
Hey, bro, I used to laugh about that song, bro. I ain't gonna fake it. That song used to hit, bro. I ain't gonna fake it. I used to stay listening to that one, like, come up. But nah, for real, though, that more like something to vibe to, bro. Like, Mud steady hating, bro. Mud stay hating on Flight, bro. But he always stayed positive. He always stayed to himself. I'm trying to be like him, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody say, man. I'm doing my thing. I'm making my money, bro. I ain't gotta depend on nobody. That's how I'm trying to get like Flight for real, bro. For real.
Reacts has been around for a minute, creating viral content for YouTube and other platforms. Now, my man's been holding down the fort since the early part of this decade, which is actually around the same time that I first started this channel as well. He's a brother from another mother, I tells ya. Now, the kid, he has blown up off his reaction videos from anything like trick shots.
Ooh! I'm so sleep. He got the sauce. He definitely got the sauce. How did he do that? Look how little room does he has. Look how much little room he has. Bam! Bam!
Yeah, I used to watch them videos. Them was, I was like, how did they do that? Like, how many times it took them to do shit like that? I know it took them like 100 times.
To women judging his looks.
Yeah, you know the name, girl.
They be hating on my mans, man. Why they hating on him? This dude be fresh, bro. They just be, I don't know. They be hating on dude, knowing he be fresh. Like, he one of the flyest YouTubers, bro. Hands down, bro. Like, once I get up, he ain't gonna be the flyest. It's gonna be me. But so far he like the flyest YouTubers, bro. For real, can't nobody just like dude. He hard with it. I ain't gonna fake it. But yeah, you know how females is. They just join the wave. That's all it is.
But I don't know what's so funny.
And with his bigger
He
than
be
life
getting
personality,
hella
well, he's
messages,
taken the
funny
internet
as
by
hell.
storm. And that's without even mentioning the series of content he posts involving sketches, basketball players. There's pranks, there's basketball players, there's video games, and yeah, well, even more basketball players. You know, during hard times like these, when the world doesn't have any sports, well, at least we still have Flight Reacts holding down the fort. Now for this video, I was actually able to get in contact with the man, and he helped me out by answering a whole bunch of questions. So this one is kind of like a collab video.
Calm your horses, but who's ready to go? Because I am, bitch. Let's get it.
What's going on, guys? It's boy Michael McCrudden back at it again with a brand new Before They Were Famous, and this one was requested by you guys, a whole bunch of you. Now in the past, we've done similar videos on the likes of Chris Smooves, Corey X Kenshin, RDC World, and Love Live Surf. Now, of course, this show, it works off requests from you guys, so you gotta let me know who's next in the comments down below. You can also hit me up in the DMs at McCruddenM or at the number down below. But text me. Stop calling me. I can't be getting any sleep because you kids keep blowing me up. So just text, all right? Now let's get into this video. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Flight Reacts was born Kamani White on August 7th, 1995 in Washington, D.C. Now Flight, he spent the first year of his life living in the DC area, but at the age of 1, his family would pick up and move to West Palm Beach, Florida, where he still lives to this day. Now Flight's dad, he worked as a wedding photographer, while his mom, she stayed at home and held down the home front. He also has one sister who he's extremely close with. Now Flight's parents, they were always supportive of his goals, and their hardworking nature, it inspired their children to stay focused and to keep out of trouble. At least for the time being. We're not there yet, because he does get in trouble. It's a little later in the story.
Usually, I'll always have the camera anywhere we go.
Man, that Burberry, however you pronounce that shit, bro. Bro, that shirt's so hard, bro. Like, man, I feel like must sleep on the slides too. Like those, bro, them must so hard. Like when I tell you this nigga know how to dress, bro, I can't wait till I cop me one of them. I'm telling you. But yeah, them are hard, bro. Let me know if y'all mess with the Burberry shirts, man. For real.
But the way my parents are, they're very private with their lives, so unfortunately I will not be able to get nobody as soon as we get out this car on camera. But when we finish, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna check in with you guys. Hopefully she don't, you know, boo herself too much or get too shaky or make, you know, herself look way too bad in what she's trying to make herself look. I'm trying to let her know that she has nothing to worry about. My parents are very welcoming people. They're old school, you know. They're really not people to just like really fear. Like, they keep it real just like every other parent.
That's not the point. I never met parents before.
Growing up, Flight's top 2 priorities, they were basketball and music. His biggest influences were Allen Iverson, Snoop Dogg, Fabulous, Chris Smoove, and of course, Stephen Curry.
Oh! That was a pass! Bro, that was a pass, bro! I've never seen that!
At first Flight, he attended school at Liberty Park Elementary from kindergarten to grade 2. He then moved on to Chloe Lake Elementary from grade 3 through 5, before arriving at Okeely Middle School for grade 6 through 8. Okeely? I guess it doesn't sound that strange. Whatever. Florida people. No Flight, he found elementary and middle school to be a rough time in his youth. There was a lot of gangs, there were fights, there were drugs, and violence that intersected with his daily life. Now, he was bullied a lot in grade 4 and grade 6, and violence.
Hey, I appreciate that, Flight, man, for supporting, man. St. Louis Cardinals, man, you already know. Best baseball team ever.
That intersected with his daily life. Now, he was bullied a lot in grade 4 and grade 6 because of trivial things like the type of shoes he wore.
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those?
Ain't gonna fake it, bro. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know about everybody else, but I used to get my shit flame, but the shoes I used to wear when I was 4th grade, bro, was used to flame my ass, bro. I wouldn't hip on no types of shoes, bro. So I can feel what he when he coming from when he said that, bro. For real.
One day while walking home from school in grade 7, while Flight, he was jumped by a gang and attacked. Now, it turned out to be a case of mistaken identity. The intended target was someone else who just looked like him. But, well, the damage had already been done. To make matters worse, well, his dad, he also lost his job around this same time, and he was out of work for close to a year. Now, at this point, everything in his home life, it was becoming very difficult, and Flight, he took it out by acting at school like a punk. He would get into fights, he would run his mouth at the teachers. He basically just turned into the guy he's not today.
Bro. Imagine Flight, bro. Acting a fool in class, bro. All that like shit he be doing on the reaction. Just imagine that, like him in school doing shit like that. Imagine him fighting, like imagine him raging, bro. That shit probably hella funny, bro. Like if he got a video of that, bro, when he was in school acting up like that, that shit probably be hilarious.
Today, you know what I mean? Like a troublemaker, like a prick, like a kid with a chip on his shoulder. You know, it happens.
Okay, if you pass it, which means in her terms of passing, it's a D, which actually technically is a passing. If I get a 60 or higher, she's not gonna call my mom. If I get an F, she's gonna call my mom right after. She said I was gonna be the first one out of 35 degrees.
Congratulations.
I know them
you played yourself.
I got a 78. I didn't get anything higher than a 75. That was my highest test score on a math quiz or test that year, dude.
But Flight's next chapter would come to define his life to this point. Now, Flight's mother, she transferred him to newly built Palm Beach Central High School, and it was her hope that the school would offer her son better influence and keep him out of trouble. Now, her gambit, it paid off in the 9th grade. Flight joined his first and only basketball team. It was something he deeply enjoyed doing, but unfortunately, midway through the season, he got a high ankle sprain, and he couldn't play in any more games.
Somebody get right to this.
Let's go, Flight team.
Oh, look at his build. Look how he dribbled the ball, bro. Like his feet like this. Your feet supposed to be like this. His feet like this.
Too low.
See, I don't know. Look how he builds. Like.
What the fuck?
During the downtime he spent healing while Flight, he became depressed from not being able to shoot hoops and partake in one activity that was keeping him off the streets and, you know, like out of trouble. So he started smoking weed during that summer, heading into grade 10, and as this habit picked up,
you can't tell me that don't look like Cash Nasty, bro. That's Cash Nasty, dudes. Bro. Dude got skinny on some shit. I mean, he was skinny back then.
Taking one activity that was keeping him off the streets and, you know, like out of trouble. So he started smoking weed during that summer, heading into grade 10, and as this habit picked up, well, his grades, they began to drop. His GPA, it fell as low as 1.6, and he was rendered ineligible to return to the basketball team because of his poor academics. Now, Flight, he tried to fill in this hole in his life by taking on part-time jobs. So first he got a gig working at Steak and Shake. But he soon got let go from that job for showing up at work high all the time, and then he would mess up everyone's order. Next, he tried his hand at working at Chick-fil-A. But that gig, it didn't turn out any better. Now, Flight, he was out of that job in 4 months' time. Now, it was during all this that Flight, he first came by the handle that the world would one day call him by. Now, as he continued to attend most of his classes in the 10th grade high, well, people around school, they started dubbing him as Flight, because he was always on flight. You know, whenever they saw him, the guy was high as a kite. So Flight, it makes sense. Now, as difficult a moment as it was in Flight's life, well, it was actually a bit of a blessing in disguise, because with all this downtime, well, he started gaming a lot more and watching YouTube, where he fell in love with content creators like Chris Smoove. Now, watching these videos, it inspired Flight to create his own content. And when he realized that someone could take the hobby and actually make a career out of it, well, the guy was on a brand new path.
I actually started off YouTube about 4 years ago, around that time, and my original account was called Mr. Big Boy 305. And when I had first made a YouTube account, I actually didn't start off making videos. I actually rather did NBA mixes and did tutorial mixes on just different things in life.
Now, Flight would hold off on chasing his dreams until after graduating high school, which came a little bit later than it does for most. Now with his low GPA and after having failed his FCAT reading state test, well, it took Flight well into his 5th year at Palm Beach Central High School to graduate. Now Flight, he worked his ass off to get those numbers back up and looking respectful. And he worked hard enough that he was even accepted into Palm Beach State College, so good for him. Which he attended for 1 month before he dropped out to pursue the career that he knew was already calling his name. Now working off his own muscle, well, Flight, he got his YouTube channel, Not Your Average Flight, and Flight Reacts off the ground and soaring. Sorry for the pun, but I just had to. Now at first, a lot of his content, it was video game related. We're talking 2K and NBA Live.
Not your average Flight coming at you when it's time to get right. Coming into a My Team game, road to the playoffs. Adjusting my lineup, I'm looking at his lineup. His lineup's looking a little iffy, and my lineup's looking a little spiffy. But let's see, you can't judge a book by its cover, so hey, well, the game will determine who is a better team.
But it was the videos in which he put his personality front and center that really began to pay off for Flight.
Can I get a Netflix and chill for anybody lost in the world? Hate talking about stuff like this, man.
Before he knew it, Flight was a bona fide
remember
YouTube
20
personality
I
and pulling in
remember that,
hundreds of
bruh.
thousands, if not millions of
Them
views on the
story times
regular.
used to have,
Now
bruh,
Flight's
shit was
clout had
available.
exploded so much so that he even began dating rapper T.I. from Taylor Girls throughout 2017 and 2018. And this was a relationship that he documented heavily on his channel.
Lick the other person's forehead.
Wait, I lick your forehead or you lick my forehead?
I think this is for both of us. When it's a dare, I think it's for both of us.
Okay.
Okay. That was the most sexiest lick I've seen.
What?
Look at it.
Now Flight's come up and has been so prolific that he's also got fans out there who are looking to make sure he winds up on the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, playing next to his favorite player of all time, Steph Curry. Man, I don't know if it'll happen. I guess if there were a season for it to happen, this is it. I mean, there isn't even an NBA, you know what I mean?
Hey man, this is just inspirational,
look at
bro.
Curry, man.
Bro, I'm gonna watch this quick clip for like
You know
5 minutes, bro. This is inspirational, bro. I don't care what anybody says, dog. This is lit.
Even if it's only for a 10-day contract during a season that's been more or less canceled, well, I still think he'd take it. And do you think he's got a shot in hell? Let me know if you think so in the comments down below. Be interested to hear what you guys have to say. As for the rest of the story, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up here because this is before.
Well, that's it, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this. But yeah, Flight, bro. Flight was that dude. He was one of the first YouTubers I actually was watching. Like, he the one started. I feel like he the one started all these reaction videos and story time, but he put that on the map. Because that's all I used to be watching. Flight, bro. I've been knowing him forever. Yeah, I feel like he put everybody on that, bro. They taking over. He just doing him. Make sure y'all like